Um, so I'm hoping, or I'm assuming that everybody's watched the notes that I sent out first, so that way we really don't have to go over that, but I will if I need to. Maybe I should. It's because then, oops, that way, hold on here. My biggest thing is why some of these questions or statements are coming out. And I find it interesting that we have a lot of officials that also don't know the rules. So we got to just remind people. So we don't need to be taking a bunch of crap from coaches. And if we need to, just throw the flag, and then that's their first one. And then if they get a second one, they get a second one. Remember that spectators could be thrown out as well. And spectators, when they get thrown out, they get a minimum of 3 games to be suspended. So at this point, you get thrown out of a game, they don't get to see their kid for the rest of the season. And I can tell you that Joe Hoggett has already done that to some parents because they deserved it.
Can we get this back?
Who's managing that? Who's going to stop somebody coming in the gate and don't know that?
I'm sorry?
Who's managing that? How are they going to identify someone coming through the gate?
Well, number one, it's once we identify that hey, you need to get rid of that person, then the school management is supposed to get that person. So, and I'll give you an example. So last Thursday afternoon in an afternoon game, there was a parent with a camera who decided to start to berate myself and the crew because I didn't allow the Reggie Bush push, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And this is just football, and I need to get. Why am I out there? So I just made the statement and goes, "You can't be out here yelling," and I couldn't even finish the sentence. Goes, "You don't tell me what to do. I'll do whatever the hell I want." I turned to the home management side and goes, "I need security now." And then all of a sudden, I hear somebody yell, "On its way!" So I had a smile because I'm not sure if you're aware, but the security for University High School is Irvine PD. So that was real interesting when you have people with guns walking up. Well, who's the guy? Well, the guy went into the crowd, into his stands, put down his camera and started holding a baby. It's like, not me. And so the when he was identified, I was asked by the flank official, "Do you want him out of the stadium or just off the field?" And I said, "Just off the field is fine." But the person was easily identified, and then it would have been up to school management to decide on reporting it with the name. So we can go ahead and eject someone and say person unknown, but the school is the one on the hook to find out who the exact person is. Without having to go through much more of it, there's some plays today that Michael Balourdas has pulled up, which I'm very happy as far as on to remind us as far as on contact to a defenseless player. Coaches really don't know what it is, and we need to do a better job of recognizing and calling it. So, and then the last one that I put for everybody is on the low blocks. Just remember that they have to be on the line of scrimmage, and it has to be immediate. So that's my biggest thing. We do have something that I want to. Well, first of all, to go through the rest of the notes here, the classification exam is open until Sunday, but don't wait till Sunday, because if all of a sudden you start saying, "Hey, Paul, I'm having some problems with my computer," I'm going to say too darn bad, and I will be going through between now and Tuesday as far as on number of hours that you have. So if people are on a crew and they're expecting to get a playoff game, they won't, because they need to be qualified to do playoff games. So I'm done with the um, weekly notes. We did have something new today, and there will be an email coming out probably tonight, and that's that referees, if all of a sudden you're asked by a school to wear a stadium microphone, we're going to require that they provide a waiver that if the microphone breaks, that you're not liable to replace it or to buy a new or to pay for it to be repaired. We have a school that reached out to us and said, "Hey, I know it was by accident, but your official broke our microphone." And the city just came to us, and we thought it'd be about $200, but it's going to be $1,350. So what do you want to do? I said, let me get a hold of our president, Brian Brennan, and he'll get a hold of you. But I did ask as far as, well, did you tell him ahead of time that he's liable if it breaks? I said, no, but they don't care because that's a big number and they expect us to pay for it, or at least go halves on it, which is still a lot of money. And I still think that this whole thing is, well, then we just won't use the microphone unless they're going to be on the hook for it. So that email will be coming out. It's going to go to our officials as well as our schools, and we'll see how that goes. On
Hey, Paul.
yes.
I have people asking me where to find the classification exam. Uh,
Well,
I would assume you guys have already taken the summer study guide. It is in the central hub in Arbiter. If you
well,
need help finding that, reach out.
I also sent out an email today reminding you of today's email. I mean, of today's meeting, and what that it also said how to get to the classification exam. So if you're not getting those emails, let me know because I'll tell you that you have to contact Arbiter. But I have a confirmed list that says that all of you got it. So there were 200 and I think it's 43 officials that tackle officials that received it. So I had a couple of people tell me, well, I didn't get it. So I forward the confirmation email that I had. So you may have to contact Arbiter directly to see why you are not getting your these emails because on my end
Hey,
it says
Paul, I interrupted you. I apologize. I'll let you finish your thought. Go ahead.
go ahead. That was it.
Haley is asking a question I don't know the answer to, actually.
What
Uh,
is it?
what if a parent is ejected but the season is over? Does it carry to winter sports? Parents are
Yes.
none.
Yes. It's next 4 games period. And that's all sports. So if the kid plays basketball too, guess what? They don't. They can't be there for the next 4 games. So, and it's gotten to the point where there's where Hogarth has had an increase more than 3 games, and he has no problem doing it. And so we don't determine the number of games that a person's suspended, but we do just have to do our due diligence as far as if someone needs to go, then they go right at the report, and we go from there. Because there are quite a few plays today, are there any questions as far as oh well, let me get back to just to clarify on the summer study. I'm sorry, the classification exam. When you log into Arbiter, instead of coming to where you get your schedules, you need to go to Central Hub. From Central Hub, you click testing, and then you'll see the test for the classification exam. There's only one test that's available, so it should be easy for you to find. All right. Any questions before we get into video? And Troy, I'm assuming you've already gone through the chats and there shouldn't be anything else,
Yeah, you're
correct?
good to go.
All right, Michael Balourdas, you want to take over? It's your show right now.
I've got a quick question, Paul.
Sure.
Yeah. On the test, can that be started and stopped and then restarted?
You can start it, save your place, and go back. Yes, you can.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Paul, quick comment on the Arbiter problem. Sometimes they go to spam or junk. So people should check those files if they say they're not getting them.
All right, check your spam and junk.
And Dennis, you do get credit for the classification exam. It's worth 2 hours.
So take your time with it. If you go to let's see, am I able to share right now?
Yes.
Let's go to oh trying to get rid of this. Okay, here we go. Shoot, I hate this stuff. All right. So if you go to OCFOA and you go to officials, instructional program, you'll find two things on here that are very important. One is these videos that have been recorded. You can go back and on the tackle ones, you're able to review them, submit your notes, and get credit. So you can do that at that leisure. So right here, I see 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 hours of credit you get right there. If you come over here, this is the rest of the stuff you can get. So if you number one, you had to do the summer study guide, you have to do the classification exam. There's 4 hours right there. You come back up here, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 more hours. That you're at 8. You have next week's meeting. That's 2 more. That's 10. And then you start, if you did a scrimmage, then you can get 2 hours off of that. You can see all the stuff that you can get credit for. You should be doing all this stuff. Just off of this page, there's 25 hours just off of here. If you didn't do the Truax meetings, that's fine. But if you're struggling and on a crew especially, then you got to get a hold of me. And I'm actually curious as why you couldn't do your part, because it's very easy to get yourself qualified. The rest of the people, you just need to get your 18 hours in, so then that way you're qualified to be on a crew for next year. Otherwise, you cannot be considered.
Yeah, Paul, we do have people in the 30s per hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm disappointed if you're on a cruise. Paul, I've had stuff to do. Yeah, we all have stuff to do. So that doesn't really.
And Mike Weird, please don't send me any more notes. You don't need any hours.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, so I don't. I'm no longer sharing, correct? Or am I still sharing?
No, you're good to go.
Okay, so I'm off now. So then that way, Balourdas can jump in unless there's any other questions. And as far as on checking how many hours you need, first check on your own. If you know that you're not even close, then don't worry about it. The magic number that I'm looking for right now is 18. If you get 18, you're good to go. And then as far as on the Truax hours, he did take off his attendance. We get a copy of that. You can't say that, oh yeah, I was on it. And then Truax says, no, you weren't. Well, I used someone else's iPhone. So that's what it is. Well, then you got a problem then, because unless Truax is going to sit back and give you credit for it, I doubt that's going to be a good way to prove yourself being there. All right, I want to stop talking because we're at 6:44, and I want Michael to go ahead and jump in, and we'll go through as many as we can.
Sounds good, Paul. Let me share.
It's rendering. Give it a minute. There you go. You're there.
You can see the huddle. All
Yes,
right,
sir, go
sounds
ahead.
good. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Troy. So I've got a bunch of plays this week. A lot of them are plays that coaches sent in from the last couple of weeks. We're going to start with this one here. Just want to watch the action at the end of the play, so I'm going to go through it and then we'll talk. All right. Hopefully that wasn't too choppy. It was working well earlier, but as you can see, hopefully you can see that at the end of the run here, we have a long run down the sideline. Defender has no hope of catching this runner. And so what does he do? He kicks the runner's legs out from under him. So this is tripping, right? Definition of tripping is any runner using his feet or lower legs to obstruct an opponent. This is a personal foul by the defense. And this is, we passed on this call. And this is not something we can pass on, guys, because this is a safety foul. And not only is it a safety foul, but this is the only thing in the stadium that anyone's looking at this point, right? We just a long runner by himself down the sideline. Every single person, however many people are here, see this. So we have to call this foul. I know it's not something we see a whole lot, the tripping calls, but let's just make sure we get these Back judge, this would be your primary here as you're watching him go in. Line judge, you can probably help here too if you see it. But let's make sure we call that. And then referees, if you are unsure of the signal for tripping, double check your rule books. It is in there. It does have its own signal. And then because it's a personal foul or a foul by the defense on a scoring play, we know that the offense is going to have the option to put this on the try or on the extra point or on the succeeding spot on the free kick. Good.
Number next.
Yeah. All right. This one is going to be I'll run in a second, but let's just talk about who's got what at this point. So we've got a tight end on each side of the line. We've got a wideout on each side. This wideout's coming in motion. So at this point, the headlines is still keying on, or his initial responsibility is still the two at the top. Back judge is going to have this tight end on the inside on the line judge's side, and then line judge, your responsibility is for this receiver down here. This receiver is not pressed. Neither of your outside receivers are pressed, so you're probably looking inside at the tight ends and at your tackles to see what they do. But let's watch what happens at the snap. So receiver on the outside here, number one, he comes across, just heads straight at this defender and takes him out. So this is, or sorry, it was this defender is the linebacker. So this is a blindside block that we need to see. And the line judge here, one thing to note, like we said, your receiver is not pressed, so you're probably not starting there. But once you see this receiver head inside like this, your antenna should be going up and seeing, oh, wait, what is this guy doing? Back judge, you may be able to help. I know this is your initial responsibility. You're watching for any block on this receiver here or on this defender here, but you also may see this receiver coming across with bad intentions at this defender. So let's keep an eye out for these blindside blocks. I know we've talked about a few of these in other film reviews, but we're still missing them. So just something to focus on in future games.
Mike, do we have another camera angle on this?
We have a zoomed in. We have this one. And then we got an end zone here, but I don't think you can see much.
Got it. I was just wondering if there was any others. Thank you.
Yeah. What is this? This is the false start. Jason, you want to walk through this one?
Yeah, so it's a 3rd and 10 play, and looks like they're trying to have a hard count. And we have players on both sides jumping at the same time. So let's take a look. So I know as flanks, we are kind of zoned in on the ball and on the line, but let's try to widen our vision a little bit. And I'm not sure if this was talked about. It doesn't show if you guys got together or not, but they ended up calling it on the defense. And so, but as you can see at the top of the formation, you have the wideout jumping at the same time. And we know that when we have an offense and defense jumping at the same time, we're going to put that on the offense. So let's just make sure that we're communicating, slowing down, talking about it.
Yeah. Paul, are we good on those last two? Any comments?
No, we're good on those.
All right.
We also know if that quarterback does anything more like bobbing his head or barking, like to really try to jump him off, we want to get that too. But if he's just clapping, that's a good little, that's a clap. He's allowed to clap. But if he's like really, obnoxious with his body, we want to put that on the quarterback for simulating the start of the play.
Yep. All right. This is the helmet off, I believe, Jason.
Yeah, so it's this is a scary play, guys. not just because I think they spliced two videos together, so it looks like kids are disappearing and reappearing. It's not a Halloween thing. There's some funky going on with the video. But when a ball carrier loses his helmet, that is a very dangerous play. And we need to shut that down immediately and get in there. And it's hard to say because I wasn't there, but this play continues a lot, and the kid actually ends up taking a pretty bad hit, as you can see. So let's shut that down as fast as we can, get in there. And in my opinion, the action after this, again, we don't know when the whistle is blown, or in my opinion, the whistle doesn't even need to be blown. These kids should know that when his helmet is off, he is off limits, and we shouldn't hit him. And I don't know. It's hard to see because the video is really crappy there, but I would even support a personal foul on this for hitting a guy that doesn't have a helmet. It's just really bad.
Yeah, I agree. Especially number 7 back here. He's at the 40 right now. The runner's at the 50. The helmet's already off, and number 7 still comes in, wraps him up, and tackles him. So yeah, I think that's clearly a personal foul, whistle or no whistle. But ideally, the whistle gets in there, and then we can avoid anything like that.
All right. So, Jason, so we would say that this play, right? The ball should have been spotted at the place where the helmet came off. So at the 50.
Correct, where the ball was when the helmet came off.
Yep, the play is dead right there. And I think we had a flag. I assume this flag that the line judge is throwing is for a face mask. So we're going to go 15. And then we also probably should have had a dead ball personal foul for the tackle. So we're going to go this would be a 30-yard penalty at that point.
Correct.
All right. Next. Okay, similar play with the helmet off.
One thing.
Yeah.
As a reminder, because the helmet was pulled off by a foul, the kid gets to stay in.
Yep. Yeah. Correct. Good addition, Paul. All right, this is a similar helmet off play. I think the end zone view might be a little bit better. We're going to watch, I believe it's the right guard here. Oh no, it was the left guard. Sorry. Left guard number 50. No, it's the center. Jeez. Okay, center gets his helmet pushed off. So that's the first thing we need to see. So our center number 56 here, he's going to block to his right. His helmet gets shoved off by the defender. Umpires, I don't know if any umpires want to chime in, but I think we would want our umpire to see that action on his center and have a flag down for hands to the face. So that's the first thing. But then the second piece of this play is let's watch what happens after. So his helmet gets taken off, and then he just takes off running. I don't know if he wants to block somebody. I don't know what he's doing. But we know that by rule, when a player's helmet comes off, if he participates in any action beyond an action that he's already engaged in, we need to have a flag for a personal foul. Or not a personal foul, for illegal participation. So between the back judge in this case, the umpire turning around, even the referee, really anybody could see this. Especially, I mean, this was a 7-man game. So one of the 7 or 5, or even if it's a 3-man, I would hope somebody sees this runner coming down with no helmet thinking, wait a minute, I know he doesn't actually block anybody, but he's still very much participating in this play. He's trying to block, he's getting in the way. So we need 2 flags on this play, one for the hands to the face, one for the illegal participation. But yeah, just something that absolutely needs to be called.
Hey, Michael, this is Colin. We did have 3 flags on this play for illegal participation. Yeah,
okay.
We did. Hey, Michael.
Hey,
Yeah.
Michael, this is Jim. One thing, the coach did have a secondary question to me on this one, and
Mhm.
he asked, "Why is it illegal participation if he did not contact anybody downfield?" I told the coach, so this is a reminder to everybody: he doesn't have to make contact with anybody, but as soon as he takes off and starts running downfield with the play, we have illegal participation in this case. So
Yeah.
just to clarify that a little bit.
Yeah. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, and thanks, Colin. I think I had watched the next couple plays, and for some reason I thought that it had seemed like there was no flag, but great. Glad to know we got this. But yeah, just in case anybody else sees something like this, if he keeps running, if he gets in the way, like Jim said, even though he didn't block anybody, still illegal participation.
And the spot of that's going to be where he took off to continue to participate, right? The spot of that foul? Or not?
That is a good question. Yes.
It's a spot foul.
Yeah, that's going to be a spot foul. Going to double check, but yeah. Yeah, so as soon as he really takes off and keeps participating, that's where we're going to want that flag.
Michael, doesn't it say that he has to influence the play in the rule book, though, not participate? It says influence in the rule book.
Let me check the rule, but I think what I would say here is at the very least, I mean, he's getting in the way, right? Like there's other players trying to tackle. I know he doesn't touch anybody, but I think the idea of this rule is for him not, influencing the player participating, is once his helmet comes off, he should just be standing here, not continuing, not following.
I got it here, Michael. It's 964G. For a player whose helmet comes completely off during a down to continue to participate beyond the immediate action in which the player is engaged.
Thanks, Jason.
Period.
Yeah, so it doesn't actually say anything about influencing the play. It just says continue to participate.
Daryl, you got a question?
Excuse me, yes. So, sorry. If a player's helmet comes off, they're in imminent danger of getting hit. Play still going. Do you want to whistle to shut it down?
No, only if it's the runner.
Ball carrier.
Thank you.
Or ball carrier, yeah.
So are those fouls going to offset because of what happened?
Correct. In this case, we'd have offsetting fouls. They're both live ball fouls, one on each team.
Brian, did you have a question?
No, I'm all good. You got it.
He was clapping. He was using the clappy emoji.
Thank you, Troy.
All right.
Cool. All good?
All good. I'm trying to figure out how to lower my hand. Okay, there it goes. Thank you.
Hey, Michael, I have a question real quick.
Yes.
I hate playing the what ifs. If that center was just engaged with his defender right there at the line and didn't go any further up, that would not have been illegal participation, right? He could still engage, just cannot make that second act, if you will, which when he started to make a beeline towards the end zone, that'd be the second act.
Yeah, correct. So as long as he doesn't do anything else, he's good. Like I said, Jason read the rule. Continues to participate beyond the immediate action in which the player is engaged. So if he stays engaged with that center for another second or two and then he backs off, we're all good.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's a judgment call, right? And that's why, you guys have a lot of experience. We have a lot of football knowledge in this room, and being able to explain to a coach, in my opinion, that was not beyond the immediate action, or that was beyond the immediate action. And being able to use that kind of language when talking to a coach is super helpful, right? And it lets the coach know that you understand the rule book and that you know how to communicate what it's trying to portray, right?
Let me jump in here just for a second. So if the center's helmet comes off, number one, he's got to protect himself so he doesn't get hurt because his helmet's off. So if he's not doing anything other than protecting himself, we're good. But what you got to have your antenna up for is, now do you have the defensive guy doing a cheap shot to a guy with the helmet off? And what you should be thinking, there's a potential for a personal foul against the defense because the guy's helmet's off and he's not supposed to participate. So remember, we're still protecting the player that has his helmet off, but he can't get involved at all. Just stay where he's at so he doesn't get hurt.
Yep, and that goes to Daryl's question. So we're not killing the play just because his helmet came off, but absolutely, if anyone comes and hits him, that's going to be a personal foul.
Well, and secondarily, he can't put his helmet back on and then continue to play either. Once his helmet comes off, he's got to stop.
Correct.
Good point.
And we actually saw that last week where a player took off his helmet and put it back on. So, good comment. All right. If we move to this play, this is a casebook play come to life. This is a good one. So we're going to be looking at ineligibles downfield, right? So we have our 5 offensive linemen. Let's see what happens. Receiver. Boom. Right here. Number 76, 77, whatever number he is. He's 5 yards downfield, right? Okay. Pretty straightforward. 5 yards downfield. Now he goes back. The ball is thrown. He's only 2 yards downfield. Foul? No foul.
It's a foul.
This is a foul. Correct. Thank you for chiming in.
welcome.
It doesn't matter where he is. Well, I mean, it matters where he is at the time of the pass, but the rule is that if he ever goes beyond the expanded neutral zone, then it is a foul for ineligible downfield if there is a legal pass thrown beyond the line of scrimmage. So flanks and our umpire got pushed pretty far back on this play, starting 10 yards back, and then there was a receiver that caused him to end up, 14, 15 yards back. But our flanks especially, we have a line judge down here. Looks like he's looking across. Line judge, hopefully you can recognize here that, oh wow, this guy's really far down. And then you don't have to keep watching him. You already know he's 5 yards downfield. It doesn't matter if he goes further up or if he goes back. He was already 5 yards downfield. So if we have a forward pass, you're going to have a flag for an ineligible downfield. All right. Jason, another ineligible downfield. You want to go through this one?
Yep. So we're gonna have a flag by the H on this one. And go ahead and run it. I think the left tackle is borderline. But stop it right there where he passes it, where the quarterback releases the ball. It looks like everybody's good there. Is that Tony Norris? Tony, are you on the call?
Yeah, I'm on it.
What'd you have on this, if you don't mind talking about it?
Couldn't tell you. Happened Friday night. I don't remember.
Got it. Yeah, I think as like it says there, it's a good rule of thumb. Like we don't want to be really strict on this. Give them a yard or two, and make sure that we know where the linemen are at when the quarterback releases the ball. Because
I was kind of on edge on it, Jason, because they were very bad. La Habra was very bad earlier this year, and so I was definitely probably over officious on it. I would say that maybe. So if it was even remotely at the 3 or 4 or something like that, I was definitely trying to throw it because they were very bad early in the year.
Yeah, I totally get it. Yep.
Real quick, when it's talking to a coach, he's asking about this exact kind of play. And I said, because we have 5 officials on the field, maybe 3, that the rule is 2. And it's hard to say between 2 and 3 because it's that close. It's only a yard. But when you start talking 4 and 5, that should be when it's really obvious to you. It's like, it's not just 1 or kind of 1. It's definitely 2. So if you keep in mind that the rule is 2, it might be 3, but it's hard to tell. But if it's 4 or more, you got to be on that. If you get 3 and it's that obvious to you because there's nobody around, here you have a cluster here. So when you have a cluster and is it 2, is it 3? then I understand why it's easy to pass on it. But because you're still engaged, but when it starts to stretch out to 4, then you need to have a flag on the ground.
Sounds good.
This is a quick one, just looking at formations. I know we talk about a lot about formations, but it's deep enough in the year that we should have these cleaned up, right? Like we've got these 3 clearly back, but then you look at these wide guys on the ends. Maybe they were on, hard to tell from this angle, but very much looks like we have extra guys off the line of scrimmage here. Definitely something to be aware of on a kick play like this. They're obviously lining up in this V so that they can block the guys coming around the edge. So let's get them up and then not let them get away with these bad formations on a kick play. Well, all right. We're going to watch, I believe it's this receiver here, and watch what happens after he catches the ball. What do we think? Do we have a foul on this? Why or why not?
Just to preface this, just know that Michael and I don't see eye to eye on this.
Yeah, actually, Jason and I don't quite agree on this one.
Mom and Dad are never going to agree all the time. But
so give them a hint of what you're looking for.
Yeah, so I'm looking at hurdling on this receiver trying to jump over this defender. I know that the debate is whether or not, the rule says he has to be jumping feet first. And I think, he's trying to jump over this defender and keep running. And the defender rises up to contact him, and the defender or the runner, this is exactly why the hurling rule exists, right? Because then he gets dumped, lands close to on his head. So I believe this is hurling. Paul, definitely would love to know what you think on this one.
So I would argue that he is hurtling to me is put in the rule book because guys going foot first or knee first into the head of a defender. That's so you're trying to protect both players here. And so the rule says that the foremost body part is the foot or the knee. That's the definition of a hurdle. In this one, I feel like he's kind of more like diving, like Superman kind of a jump here. But either way.
Well, on a Superman jump, then he's coming with his head, correct? Coming forward, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you're saying. What you see, correct?
I'm seeing head first. Yeah.
You don't have a lower limb coming out first. Is what you're saying? Correct. Because there's a difference between hurdling and jumping over a person. Because we can jump over a person legally, but we can't hurdle them. So if you do have a leg coming up, then it's like Jason had said, we're protecting the defender, because if you have a foot coming forward or a knee coming forward, then that's to protect the defender. But the rule is also there for the runner, because like Michael had said, when a guy gets rocked midair, it's to protect him from coming down awkwardly and now having the runner injured as well. So the number one, you got to tell yourself, is that a hurdle or not, or did he just jump over him? And then if you can defend yourself by saying, yeah, I saw a leg coming up first, then that's easy. If I don't have a leg coming up at all and the guy's just jumping over him, then I don't have a hurdle. Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, if I can chime in a little bit on this one.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was. This is Gary Gilman, and I was the white hat on this game, and after we reviewed the huddle video on this, we were split just like you guys are on whether this was a hurdle or not. At the time, I didn't know it wasn't even brought to my attention at the time. Certainly didn't, the antenna didn't go up on the crew. But in looking at it, I'm kind of with Michael. I could sell hurdling on this. I'm not sure. I think his intention was to jump over the player. And I know we can't always officiate based on intent. We have to officiate with our eyes and what we see. But to me, I'm gonna probably default to hurdling on this, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah, we could spend all night going back and forth. It's good discussion. Good for the people that haven't seen this play to have an opinion on.
Yeah. Yeah, and thanks for chiming in, Gary. I appreciate the context here. And I think, what you said and what Paul said is just be able to explain this to the coach, right? If you're going to call this hurdling, explain why. And if you're going to pass on this, again, just need to be able to explain why. Because, if it's you didn't have him leading with the legs, you have him diving over, or it's that you do have him leading with the legs, attempting to jump over this defender, make sure that you can ground your explanation in something in the rule book.
Love it.
All right. Jason, go ahead on this one. This is this lineman. Oh, let me back it up.
Yeah, so this one is a question about like simulating the snap. You think this player is making a natural movement to shift over, or is he trying to get the offense to jump off? And I think we haven't really talked about our philosophy on this. But I think if the offense doesn't move, we kind of let this go and talk to them. Say, hey, if you're doing that to try to get the offense to jump off sides, we're going to put that on you. But I think in this one, it's okay to just let this go. What do you think?
Got two things. So number one is, was there any verbal distraction as he's making the jump? And is it a jump or is it a shift? So if you can answer those two questions to yourself, and you can say both, well, he shifted without making a noise, then the disconcerting wouldn't be verbal. But if the shift is more like you're trying to scare your little sister, then that's more of an abrupt action. And David, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. So we were also on this game, and I was the umpire in this one. And in pregame warmups, we saw them doing these types of shifts on air and against their own offense, and then during the course of the game. So for this particular play, I do remember that there was no verbal shouting in order to try to draw them off sides. The guy was just trying to shift over. And sometimes the linebackers were yelling at the linemen, like, move over or A gap, or they were adjusting them. So I didn't read it as a disconcerting act. But I can definitely see that on huddle film without any audio, this could have that appearance.
Yeah, thanks, David. And let me just ask you, what if the offense had jumped in response to this? Do you think you would have called false start or still called this a disconcerting act?
I would have called the false start, because in my opinion, he was just shifting from B gap to A gap or wherever. There wasn't any kind of a disconcerting act. There was no verbalization or anything like that. So if they did jump, and I think we did have a number of false starts that we did call if there was a shift or there wasn't a shift. And the coach never complained, oh, they're drawing us off sides or they're making us false start.
Just so you know, this is kind of a newer thing that's happened in the last couple of years, and so there's been a lot of film on it. There's been a lot of talk, and one of the things that us as officials need to be on a look for when looking at these plays is this when the defender is shifting, is his hands pumping or his arms pumping? And because that in itself isn't a natural movement that you make when you're shifting. So the arms pumping, like in a running motion, that's a telltale sign that you're trying to simulate the start of a snap. You see how he does that, like boom, with his hands, with his arms, like that's simulating the start of the snap. That's not just a natural motion. So that's kind of something that you can kind of put in your back pocket as a indicator of a disconcerting act.
One other thing I'd like to add, just looking at the rule, this is 719. It also doesn't have to be verbal. That's certainly a strong indicator, but it's acts or words that interfere with a signals or movements. So if you deem just the act alone here as an attempt to draw or make the offense move, you can still rule this disconcerting acts even without anything verbal or audible.
The easy one to be able to use it as an example is you see these guys standing up and they come up and stomp right in front of the linemen, and sometimes they'll go ha, or they just don't do anything but they stomp. Well, that's what we're talking about. The easy version of saying a disconcerting act without the verbiage. But so if that's a simple one, then you start to stretch out other actions that are not, as was earlier said, a natural movement of a shift. Is it really to draw the offense off? So yeah, you don't have to have it verbal, but you have to decide on whether or not the action, I'll just say awkward or not.
Paul, I do have a question for you real quick in regards to that. I mean, we've all seen the linebackers, they run up, right directly on top of the center, and they'll stop short before they come into the neutral zone, and they don't stop. Is running up and then, stopping real short, is that considered to be, as if they were blitzing, but then they hold up because they haven't seen the snap? I mean, is that just now our judgment based on that?
No, I think that at that point you're reading too much into it, because they have an option of trying to decide on are they going to blitz and just trying to time the snap, or they're told to come in to act like you're going to blitz, which screws up the blocking scheme, and then they drop back into pass protection. So yeah, I mean that's to confuse the offense, but the action in itself is running up without stopping. I think that's pretty common and not considered a foul.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think they're not deceiving the offense at all by doing that. The offense sees him coming up. They're not like, oh wait, the play is starting, I have to jump. Versus something like this right on the line that's an abrupt action that could draw the offensive movement.
Okay, move on to the next one. Got a lot of plays.
Okay. This is a punt. We're going to be watching some action away from the ball. Went too far.
Yeah, coffin corner. I like that from the 40, ball snap at the 40. So we got coffin corner. Oh, wait.
Everybody see that? We're going to be watching this guy down here comes in. So this gunner at the top. So it's a short kick. Receivers calls a fair catch, but then lets it go. And then this gunner down here, right behind the returner, is going to come up and just deck him. I know the back judge here. Yeah, this is going to be the back judge. When we're in coffin corner, the back judge is probably watching the ball, right? But the ball is not really being threatened at this point. I know you're trying to see where it bounces, but do your best to keep a wide vision there. Still find something to officiate. Once this ball, kind of bounces up, isn't really threatening the sideline so much. Headlinesman, same thing. This was your gunner. I know you're now peeking in to help with the ball to see if it goes out of bounds, but that was your gunner. So you could also have eyes on this. But then line judge, when you're down here in coffin corner, when that ball's way over there, all you're really doing is keeping wide vision, just watching for anybody basically doing anything like this. You're not going to see, I don't know, holds, or you're not going to see any touches on the ball or anything. So our line judge down here, I think, would be the one to ideally catch this. Again, just keeping a wide vision on a play like this where you don't have any action really to watch. Just watching for these malicious personal fouls away from the ball.
Just think to yourself, no free shots,
Yeah.
especially when the ball everyone's coming to a relaxed state. Okay, go ahead and go to the next one, please.
This is going to be a deep pass to this outside receiver on the top of the screen. So that's going to be our head linesman's key, or initial responsibility. But let's watch what happens. So we get a nice big push from the receiver there to make some space, and then he catches the ball for a touchdown. So let's talk about, and we didn't have a flag, but let's talk about who's going to see this. So head linesman, obviously this is your initial responsibility and you are watching this player. However, I could definitely see a scenario where you may not really see this contact because you do have the receivers back to you. You might see something, but you're not really sure, if the receiver actually extended and pushed off, or he just kind of maintained his space. So in this case, who probably is going to have the best view of this is the back judge. So the back judge, as soon as this ball is up, should be turning to watch this action here. And then the back judge should have a great angle on what that contact looks like from the receiver to the DB. So I would hope the back judge is going to have a flag for some offensive pass interference on this receiver here. Headlines, you still might get it, but
I will say that the back judge is in great position.
Yes,
and he's not moving, so he's got a great chance of catching it. So he's just got to be able to catch that.
Correct. All right, Jason.
Go back to that play real quick. Look at the. Also, I know this is nitpicky, but watch number 6, the slot receiver at the top. Watch him after the touchdown. This is dead ball officiating right here. Watch number 6.
No.
What is he saying to him? What is he saying to him? Like, that's the kind of stuff that we got to get after the play. Anyways,
I actually didn't even notice that. Good catch. But yeah, so back judge headlines. Let's get in there. It looks like our umpire noticed and is running over. So nice job. All right, this is a quick one, but Jason, you want to take this one? This guy running off the field.
Yeah. So I know the back judge and the flanks are counting defense. Back in the day, we used to say, like, if you had a couple of steps, and we'll let him off, but not anymore, not with film. We got to shut this down.
Hey, Jason, that actually probably should have just been an encroachment, and I passed on it, but I should have probably thrown encroachment because he's the 11th player.
Got it. Yeah. Either way, when it looks that ugly, it's just better off. Like we say, nothing good could happen. Let's just shut it down and give it a false start or encroachment, and then reset it.
Yeah, I think the problem with this one is it's just too obvious, right? Everybody sees this guy. The coaches all see it, or some of them are pointing at it.
We used to just step onto the field 2 yards, and then all of a sudden we didn't see it.
Yeah.
Just shut it down and move on.
Yep.
Okay, next play.
All right, this is a similar play. We've only got 10 on the defense, right? So we should be prepared. Once you do your count, you've only got 10. They might be sending someone else on. Snap happens. Oh, wait, 91 runs on the field. And he's coming over to participate. So as the flanks, I know you got plenty to watch on the line of scrimmage, but at the same time, out of your periphery, when you see this guy run by you, your antenna should be up. Wait a minute, where did this guy come from? So we just need to we need to catch these. And again, just when you have that 10 on the defense and you're on the defensive sideline, just be ready for something like this. And then we need a flag here for Paul and I talked about this one. We want a flag for illegal participation on this because, you know, if he had just kind of jumped on the sideline, jumped onto the field right here and stopped, yeah, we could go illegal substitution. But the fact that he does run all the way across here and get involved in the play, sort of to an extent, should have an illegal participation.
Well, the key part is just that if he runs on after the ball has been snapped, makes it participation.
Well, there in the rule book, actually, there it does say if he runs on. Let me find it. During a down, a replaced player or substitute who enters the field but does not participate constitutes illegal substitution. So that's 3-7-6.
All right, I was looking under participation, not substitution. Okay. Good. Yeah, but he does participate in this one because he runs all the way across.
Yeah.
Number next.
Oh, penalty enforcement. This one's kind of long. I might skip it.
Bottom line is if you have a 15-yard penalty, go 15 yards. If you have a 10-yard penalty, go 10 yards.
Yeah. Actually, there is one thing I want to talk about this even beyond that. I've seen it in a few different plays, but we're going to have 2 flags here well, part of the problem is I don't know exactly what these flags are for. I know what this one is for from the referee. This is for a horse collar tackle because he immediately gives the signal. The problem here is we also have a flag from our umpire, and I'm watching this and I don't know what this flag is for. I thought maybe it was for taunting by this guy because he knocked the other guy over. But we get a flag from our umpire, and then there's no discussion between our referee and umpire, and our referee is already giving his signal. So at this point, I don't know if the referee had a different flag and he just decided not to report it, or if he saw the same flag and knows that the referee already caught it. So if we have multiple flags, we need to have a discussion, and if these are the same flag, let's try and put these flags together on the field so that everybody watching also knows, hey, these are not separate penalties. These are the same penalty. Because now we go to march this off, and I'm still watching this wondering, what is this second flag for? So let's just make sure we can slow that down a little bit. I know we want to do penalty enforcement quickly, but we also need to make it look good. All right.
So we'll get one more play in, then we'll bookmark it because we may go ahead and use the rest of those. We may have a separate. I won't promise it, but we may have a separate extra Zoom meeting with the balance of these plays. But let's get this last one in and call it a night.
All right. Last one is going to be, this is just a run up the middle, but we actually have 2 fouls on this play, both that were not called. So let's look at this. First one is going to be over here on this left tackle. We have a hands to the face. That runner's helmet is pushed up by the defender. And our umpire at this point is probably looking up the middle. So umpire may not see this. I'm not sure which side of the line this referee is watching on this play, but referee might pick this up. Or alternatively, our line judge down here at the bottom might see this foul. This is a bit of a tough one because there's a mass of bodies. But just try and pick somebody to watch. And then between the 3 of you, hopefully one of you can catch this. Then the other foul we need to keep our eyes on is any lead blockers coming up the middle. Sorry, that's the wrong play. So this defender right here in the middle, he's going to come up and he's going to go low on this offensive tackle who is pulling. Sorry, the number 52, the back, who's in the backfield. But that defender comes low. Our umpire looks like he's looking in there. This is a foul that I would think the umpire is probably going to get, but just be aware of, any lead blockers. Even if the defender, is coming to make a tackle, if he goes right through the legs of that lead blocker, we need to have a flag for an illegal block below the waist, because we know that players can only block below the waist on their initial charge when they're on the line of scrimmage. All right.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. We'll bookmark the rest of the plays because I know that there were a couple that I really wanted to see later, but and that it was just to actually, can we get one of the defenseless players in? I think it is.
Yeah, I have 2 of those.
25, I think.
Yep.
And then we'll call it a night.
Can you maximize it so we can see a little better?
Yep, sorry. All right, everybody see that? So remember, just whenever you have receivers like this where defenders are in a position to make a hit, remember our checklist, right? First one is the receiver defenseless. He clearly is here. He's jumping up for the ball. 2 is the defender playing the ball. No, he's definitely not. He is just going for this hit. 3 is the defender trying to wrap up. No wrap here. And then 4 is he initiating contact with open hands. He's not here. He hits him with his shoulder. So this is a foul for an illegal hit on a defenseless receiver. And this is a crew call. I think that's the biggest thing that we can do better on these is that I don't want flanks and umpires to be afraid to throw this flag because a lot of the time, even on a deep pass like this, because a lot of times the back judge, I hope the back judge will get this, but also the back judge is keeping an eye on the ball primarily, right? Trying to make sure this is a completed or incomplete catch. Maybe it bounces into the air, but anyone in the crew can get this because it's a safety foul and other people may have a better view and be able to see one of these players coming in to make a big hit.
Yeah, remember your checklist. And I'm trying to have the coaches remember that checklist as well. And we'll be happily ever after. Hey, 7:33. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Jason. Great job. Troy, thank you for keeping me in check. And unless there's any last questions from the gallery, have a great night.
Thanks, guys. Please keep giving us feedback. We'd love it. Thank you.
Yeah. And send us plays if you have any good ones.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thanks, guys.